Now, you might have heard Joanne Clegg speaking recently about a new drive to get life-changing technology made available on prescription to diabetic children in the island. Backed by the Manx Diabetic Group, which Joanne chairs, the parent-led Monitors4Kids campaign aims to increase access to blood sugar level monitors. To find out more about this, we're joined by two people who know firsthand what a difference these kits can make to lives. Graeme Hatcher, we'll come to you first. Your 13-year-old son Brodie has type 1, doesn't he? When did you first find out?
It's March the 18th, 3 years ago. It was a quick panic phone call. I was at the airport, ready to fly away from the doctors to get him into Nobles as quick as I could. So it was a bolt from the blue, really. In hindsight, the telltale signs were there, the thirst, the loss of weight, it was all there, but it was a real bolt of blue for us, and followed by 2 weeks up at Nobles Hospital with him while we got him stabilised, and our lives changed.
We're going to be finding out in just a minute from Danielle, who's with us as well, what that diagnosis does mean for a young person themselves. But from the point of view as a dad, as a family, how did it impact on your lives?
That bolt from the blue is really the great example. It is a life-changing moment, all in one go. The pancreas, which is the cause of diabetes, the failure there, is a marvellous organ when it works. Trying to replicate that as a human takes some doing, and the control aspect of that is very frustrating all around. So it's a difficult one. It hits everything. Every routine changes. Every aspect of your life does change at that point.
And how long did it take you to adapt to such a life-changing piece of news?
I think, to be honest, it changes. Danielle will reiterate this. It affects, I think, probably more so in the youngsters. The variety in life is so different. As adults, we very much settle into a routine of waking up, going to work. Kids don't have that routine. Okay, school's there, but PE one day, not PE the other, and all those events require some interaction, whether it's more insulin or more sugar. So it really is every day's learning, and teenagers and children growing, that aspect all plays into as well. So there isn't it's not one tablet or one injection and it's done. It's constant interaction, and that's where these monitors are just life-changing, really are.
And you say that technology in the monitors is what can really help with at least the perception of being normal. And for someone of Brodie's age, that's crucial, isn't it?
It is. It's being seen to be normal, but also living that normal life. So sport's a key thing for Brodie, and not having to be dragged to a football pitch because I don't know what his bloods are doing, or if he's looking possibly like he's going low and I've got to interact, then I know now, whereas 18 months ago it was guesswork, and unfortunately at times put him off the football pitch, and no kid wants to do that. That's where it really hurts them, I think.
And you had to take him off the football pitch to obviously do the finger prick, which now you don't need to with the monitors.
That's right, yeah. Finger pricks when it's raining, it's a typical Manx winter's day, is quite challenging because it needs to be absolutely bone dry. So now Brodie plays in goal, so he can take his kit with him, throw it at the back of the net, and I can be in the car nice and warm watching what his bloods are doing.
So it has made a huge difference then, the monitor?
Absolutely, yeah. No, we've been on, he's on and off now for 18 months, and it's health-wise, its benefits are huge, but it's just lifestyle is great.
And Danielle, who's with us as well, Danielle Wilkinson, it's lovely to have you with us. First of all, just let everyone know how old you are.
I'm 12.
12 years old. She's so confident and so calm in the radio studio. It's brilliant. I think she obviously does some sort of drama of some type. When did you discover you had type 1, Danielle?
Well, I was diagnosed when I was, it was a month before my second birthday. So I've had it for about 10 years. So I don't remember being diagnosed. That was my parents. It probably affected more then because I was just getting to grips with the world in itself.
So when you were diagnosed then, would they have been using the pinprick method, or did they have monitors to start with?
No, when I was diagnosed, we were on finger pricks and injections, but obviously technology's moved on now and we need to keep up with it.
So Danielle, how does this impact your life on a day-to-day basis? How do you deal with this every day?
Well, moving up to high school was tricky, but if I'd had to do finger pricks to do that, it would have made it so much harder, because some kids at high school aren't angels, and when you have to prick yourself and make yourself bleed and stuff, the amount of questions and things that get asked, I don't mind answering them, but it's when people are cringing because of the blood and stuff. I can just be so much more discreet about it, and not many people know. I do get questions, are you diabetic? Because it's hard to tell now.
That is amazing. And she's just brilliant, isn't she? I have to say as well, you certainly haven't let it stop you, have you? Because you say that in year 7, you went away to get an award from John Moores University. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I haven't let it stop me. So there was a homework we had to do. It was a maths homework, and I did it, and I won an award for it. So without the monitor, I wouldn't have been able to travel to Liverpool to go and receive the award like everyone else did. But I was put on a monitor and it worked, and then my mum and dad could have a look at it from at home, and they would know that I was all right. And I've always struggled getting up at night to test, and I didn't need to worry about it because mum and dad were on the end of the phone, and because they're used to it, they would wake up and then they'd ring me and I'd do something about it.
Just brilliant. And you're actually wearing the monitor now,
Yes,
aren't
I
you?
am.
And it is actually very discreet. You can just see it on your arm. Just explain how it works then.
So there's part of it that's under the skin, and that monitors the blood sugar, and then that sends it to the transmitter, which is attached on top. And then that talks to my phone, and then my phone sends it to up to 5 people's phones. So they've got a different app, but they can see it when I can see it. And I only have to be near my phone. I don't have to be near them for them to see it either.
Okay, this is amazing, isn't it?
Extraordinary.
I mean, this genuinely is a real education, because we've heard of the monitors, but I just didn't realise they worked in such a fantastic way. So lots of pairs of eyes then, as you say, you can go up to 5 phones, can be sort of watching you and just keeping a check on how you are.
Yeah, so that was helpful when I went away to Manchester, because there was a couple of different teachers who take responsibility of the pupils at different times, and so they could all see it as well as my parents and things.
And the problem, though, I would say, the only problem with these monitors, they're not cheap, Graeme, are they?
No, they're not cheap. They're not cheap at all. You're ranging from about £90, £100 a month upwards to sort of 160.
How many monitors do you need over the course of a month, say?
They depend. I mean, that's a month's use. Some lasted 2 weeks, and some others are sort of 10 days. It just depends on that basis. And it's really, you have got technology inserted into you, so it's that limitation of having something foreign inside you. So
Yeah, it's the shelf life of them, I suppose, because a lot of people might think once you have a monitor attached, that's it for a long time, but they need to be changed regularly.
Yeah, the transmitter itself is good for either a quarter, sort of 3 months, or even a year. Some of them are rechargeable now, and it is changing from the first monitors that's sort of commercially available. But it's that sensor, and sort of similar to the last campaign, which was Pumps4Kids. They're limited by having that interaction inside the body. That's the limitation, really.
And so this Monitors4Kids campaign is absolutely crucial, isn't it? And Danielle, you'd really like people to help support, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I would. We're trying to raise as much money as we can. So we're asking the government to try and put them on prescription. And in the meantime, we're trying to raise money for all the children on the Isle of Man to get them on. So they're about £50 a go. So we're trying to raise as much money as we can.
Because there are, I believe, am I right, Graeme, in thinking there are some places in the UK where you can actually get these on prescription?
Yeah, unfortunately, it's in the UK. It is a bit of a postcode lottery, so it's not been adopted across the entire UK. And the business case is strong, to be honest. I say with sports or any activity that Danielle does as well, we could be finger pricking maybe 15 plus times a day. And those test strips cost up, and the needles cost up. So actually, when you price it for a child, it's actually very cost effective. So it's just a change of mindset and taking on the benefit. And that's all short term. That's not on these long term benefits with health as well. So the campaign's been very well supported by the local politicians. That's been good. It's been great to get their support. And it's really the awareness, similar to yourselves, so they're actually seeing real use cases and how important the technology can be is gives a strong message.
Well, I'm so very glad that it is available to yourself, Danielle, and also to Brodie. And fingers crossed that that the campaign really does take flight and they are available on prescription, because it clearly makes such a huge difference to lives of yourself and Brodie too, and also the families involved too. So fingers crossed. If you've got any questions for our studio guests this afternoon, we've got Danielle and Graeme with us until 3 o'clock. You can text 166 177 or email studio@manxradio.com. And Danielle, before we play the adverts, just let us know what the email address is for anyone if they'd like to find out more.
So Monitors4Kids have an email address. That's monitorsforkids@gmail.com.